Hi everybody, this is Wanjiro from Kenya to Japan, and I'm so excited to be back with another video. Now, if you're a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for your consistency and for your love. And if this is your first time, you're welcome to this channel, and please remember to subscribe, to like, and to share. That's the best way to support me. Please subscribe, share, and like. If there's someone who might benefit from this video, please send it over to them. So today we are talking about how expensive is it to live in Japan. So today I'm gonna really share with you candidly how expensive it is to live in Japan, because every month you gotta take care of bills. Yes, and these are all bills that I get every other month. Yes, that I need to pay, and I'll be telling you what it is, what they are, so that you can make a sober decision if you're choosing to come over to Japan. So that's very important. It's good to count your cost. Yes. Now, before I get into the topic, one thing I have learned since I moved to Japan, I learned to stop comparing Kenya and Japan. Kenya, things are really affordable. Actually, I realized that when I came here, because when in Kenya, like, oh, everything is so expensive. Wait until you come here and you find that things are really expensive. And I used to go shopping and I'll be like, wow, oh my goodness. So things like fruits, most of them are they come from Australia or New Zealand, Philippines, from Brazil, other countries basically. So that means those things are really expensive. So there are those things that are found to be a little bit affordable here, and there are those things that are found to be a bit expensive here. But anyway, let's get into this video. So now, Japan is for sure a fast world country. I like that the roads are amazing. I like that just systems work here. But that means it comes at a cost. So, and the first thing I'd like to talk about is so you're paid. Okay, so generally, how much you earn as a teacher is no secret. You can Google that and find it. But in Japan, you basically earn between 200,000 yen to 300,000 yen. So that would be okay. Comparing this with the Kenyan shilling, the Kenyan shilling is definitely doing better right now in terms of comparing. Yeah, it's doing better than the Japanese yen. So that means your 200 will be a little bit slightly lower. And that means also the dollar is way much better. So I'll just let you guys do your estimation, but the estimate salary of a Japanese teacher is between 200,000 to 300,000. So whatever I'm going to be giving you today is just estimate rates of estimates. So this is going to give you a rough idea of how much you make and how much you spend and how much you're able probably to save. Yes. And the other thing I must mention is, if you're living in a big city, like if you're working in a big city or you get a job as a teacher in a big city, it's definitely more expensive because you're looking at more expensive rent. So Tokyo, Osaka, those bigger cities definitely comes with a higher cost of living. But if you're placed in a rural, in the countryside, then that will be, a bit affordable. So that's the difference. Actually, that's why most people, and I actually do recommend this, that if you're coming for the first time, the best place to start is a countryside. Well, the countryside is not really countryside, the countryside that you'd imagine, but that would be a good place to start, because the city, way too expensive. Now, the first bill you get, so I'll have my notes here, so I'll be checking. The first bill you get, of course, when you come to Japan is rent. I have to say, rent in Japan is quite expensive. Well, because I compare it with Kenya, because if you're coming from other countries like UK, Canada, you may find that, maybe not as expensive. But now, if you're living in the estimates, if you're living in a countryside, your rent might be about between 30,000 yen to around 50,000 yen for a comfortable apartment. So that's the rate, between 30 to 30 to 30,000 to around 50,000. Yeah. So that depends. So you could find a 50,000 apartment or a 45,000 apartment or a 35,000 apartment. And yeah, that's the estimate. That's a rough idea. Now, if you're looking at Tokyo, Tokyo is between 50 to actually 70,000 yen to 100,000 yen. And definitely the apartments in these big cities are smaller, really small. So you pay so much for a really small space. Now, that's the rent. Yeah, the rent is the most expensive part. Um, Now, before we even come to the rent, I should have mentioned that actually you get taxed. So the tax is usually about 10%, around about 10% of your salary. So you get your 200,000 or your 300,000, and the first thing the employer will send it to you, minus tax. Yeah. So then now the next thing you will need to pay rent. So that's the rate for the rent. Yeah. Now, electricity. So I'll give estimate electricity from where I live in central Japan. So, and mine is really more of a countryside. So, from how I've seen, so the electricity really fluctuates because, like, we're just coming from summer just ended, and that means during summer it's really hot. It gets to 38 degrees, 40 degrees, so you need to use the AC. So mostly my AC was running at night and sometimes during the day when I'm here. So that means your electricity goes up. And I think my highest bill was 6,000, about 6,000 during this time I was using the AC. But normally the other times it's usually 4,000, around 4,000, yes. And of course, that means when the winter comes and you need to heat up the house, that means your electricity also goes up. Yeah, but this season, autumn season, is a bit nice, so I don't really need to use heater or AC, so that means the electricity bill is good. Now, so the estimate is good season is 4,000 when you're not using anything, but yeah, my when I used the AC it was about 6,000. So I haven't experienced winter yet, so I'm waiting for that. The next thing you're going to get in Japan is there's a gas bill. Actually, I was so shocked about the gas bill. I thought gas is used for cooking because in Kenya we only use gas for cooking, but gas is the one that actually heats up your water when you go to shower. So yeah, so that actually mine comes to around, I usually budget 5,000 for it, but I think it's around 3,500 thereabouts. Yeah, 3,500. Now that's the gas bill. And so again, remember I'm living alone, so this means that this is just budget for one person. The other thing that you pay is water. I find water is usually not so expensive because my water bill, I think I don't get the water bill every other time, but when I get it, I think it's either after 2 months. Yeah, I hope I have this right, but I don't get it every other month, but it's around after 2 months, and I paid it about 3,000. Yeah, so that's a water bill. Then I get to pay my own insurance bill. So I haven't figured how the insurance bill works in Japan. Some employers, I think they pay for you, but in my case, I pay my own. And the first 3 months, I paid 5,400 every other month. But after that, I am paying 200. So I really don't understand. I don't understand anyway. I didn't understand. I'm still figuring out how this whole insurance works. But yeah, now I'm paying after the 3 months. Now I started paying 200 every other month. And then the other thing is phone bill. Yes, I get a phone bill. Now this is the interesting bit about phone bill in Japan. So because I couldn't really get this, because I know in Kenya I used to use Safaricom, and when you buy a Safaricom card, you just recharge your phone. But in Japan, you get a plan. So the company actually that I subscribed with gave me a free phone, an iPhone, and then as long as I stay subscribed to them, then I subscribe to a plan of I think 2000. Yes, around 2000. But this is a thing. When I first came, I subscribed to a plan that was 6,000. I did not know because the person who was helping me just got me in. And I was like, why am I paying a bill of 6,000? I rarely even make calls, and all I use is I have Wi-Fi in my house, so I use data like once in a while. So why am I getting all the? So anyway, now I didn't understand. So when I asked a friend, and she told me, oh, you can get a cheaper plan and change company. So that's how I actually ended up changing. And I moved from a company where I was paying 6,400 a month to a one that I'm paying 2,000. I can't believe it. So again, sorry guys, I feel like my light is yeah, it's better. So again, I think it's really good to know some of these things and do some of this background, research. Yeah, but I hadn't. So I ended up, paying so much. And I'm like, what? Where was I paying 6,000? And now I'm paying 2,000. Okay, anyway, next is yeah, so that's what happens with the phone. Yeah, I got a free, I really don't understand how it works, but I got a free iPhone, and then I can actually, so long as I'm subscribed to them and I like their services, yeah, I don't mind it. Okay, now the other thing is so I've talked about insurance, phone, yeah, phones, and then internet. So I have a house internet, and it's basically one price, so it's 3,400 a month. So that's the house internet. The Wi-Fi is amazing because it's really it's good. Yeah, really good. Now, of course, now yeah. So that's basically some of the things and the bills you need to pay. Now, those are the things, like the things you will have to take care of, if you're living in Japan. Now, okay, apart from that, of course, guys, pay your tithe. Yes, put God first. Pay your tithe. Yeah, if you want God to bless you, pay your tithe 10%. That's important. Okay. Now, I usually put aside my tithe and my offerings for every Sunday. And then now, groceries. So, yeah, the food is also really a bit expensive in Japan. Like, beef is so expensive. Kenya, beef is the cheapest. Pork is expensive, but here the beef is very expensive, but the pork and the chicken and the fish, it's affordable. So that's the difference. Yeah, I also find milk and eggs a bit affordable, but the fruits I usually see avocados and just say hello. Well, I love avocados, and in Kenya, how easy it is and how affordable they are, but here, of course, they are imported most of the time, so you find that it's so expensive. The first time I went to a supermarket and avocado was 200 yen. I was like, whoa. Yeah, so anyway, but I stopped comparing. I stopped because it doesn't help. Yeah, so food is expensive. So normally I put aside a budget of food. So I would say for food, you'd honestly spend, well, depending on your style, if you're a person who likes eating out and all that, and of course what you like eating, but I usually do a plan, and I set aside 5,000 yen every week for food. And I'm not a person who goes out. Actually, I don't go out often, so 5,000. But if at the end of the month you don't spend it all, you put that into your saving. Yeah. So, and then the other thing is, so transport. Yeah, if you're traveling by train, it's very good to put some money aside for your train. If you're driving, put aside money for your fuel. So, but luckily for me, I just walk to my school. I don't have to incur traveling costs, so that's really good. But yeah, depending on where you're traveling. But I know that some companies or schools, they refund your transport, so they kind of give you a transport allowance, so which is good. But now, with that estimate, you can be able to know. So if you're paid, say, 300,000, yeah, It's just an example because the rate is between 2,000 and 300, as I said. Then you can be able to calculate and see, oh, this is the estimate, and you know how much you're going to be able to save. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. God bless you. And take care of yourself. Bye for now.